All right. Welcome back, everyone. Craig, Chris, and Sean here. We were just chatting a little bit, and we're kind of revamping things a little bit in terms of the mastermind. And what I wanted to do, first of all, is chat about anything that people are working on, struggling with, or whatever, on more of the tech or kind of the logistical side of things, whether it's video making, video editing, that kind of stuff. And then when we're kind of done there, we'll switch gears and talk more big picture and mindset stuff. So, with that in mind, Sean or Chris, is there anything that you've been working on, struggling with, things you've kind of figured out have worked for you when it comes to actually making the content, getting it on social media, anything like that?
Since my wife is designing a new course, let's talk about the best place to actually record the modules. What do you guys think?
Sounds good, dude.
What are you planning to, or have you not figured out where you're going to record the courses at?
Well, I know there's some options. There's Zoom, there's Loom, and then there's obviously StreamYard. And I know you guys dabbled in all of that. And I even some people have their own separate camera and upload that. So just from your experience, guys, what do you think's the best?
So I'll kind of go with what I've done. So I do a combination of things. So like this video right now is being done on Streamyard, and I do live streaming. So I like the capacity to do the live stream, and I like the fact that it adds the little names and stuff in the corners. You can add graphics and things. So I like StreamYard for being able to bring multiple people together like this, and to be able to share screens really nicely and create a nice finished product. I still use Zoom quite a bit because I like the simplicity of it, and the ability to share screens, and like if I want to like write on a tablet or something like that, it's easier to do within Zoom than StreamYard. And then actually, so I have a new secretary that started just last week, and in anticipate, she didn't have any experience in the work that I do, and so I put together probably 30, 30 or 40 Loom videos. And so for people that don't know what Loom is just it's a there's a free version and paid version. Obviously, you don't get much for the free version, but what's really nice about Loom is if you have screens you want to share, it's nice because you can put it up on screen and you can like demonstrate what you're doing. You can go through an outline and stuff, and record it and narrate it. You can have your video in the corner if you want. So I really like Loom for
Wow.
training and demonstrating. If I have kind of a computer program that I'm demonstrating, if it's more of an outline format, I actually do like StreamYard because StreamYard connects well with like Google Google Slides. I think it is. It kind of integrates and you bring it up, and so if you're using like a slideshow presentation, I actually do like StreamYard for it. But you know, they all do kind of the same thing, just a little different way.
Yeah. Zoom has the screen share, and I haven't tapped into Zoom's whiteboard yet. I don't know if you ever use that, Craig.
I I did not use it much, but I've seen it used, and it's pretty simple. It is kind of nice in that respect. Um, I also have like a separate document camera. As techie as I like to think I am, I still like being able to just write on paper. And so I have an overhead camera, like an Elmo we call it, that flips up. That connects. I can either do that as a second camera here in StreamYard, or it's very easy on Zoom. So
Yeah.
that's kind of one way to do it. If you want to like draw your way through things, I'm actually looking at getting a digital tablet. I think it's called Remarkable. It's kind of designed to replace notebooks, as I do a lot of writing and stuff. It's expensive, but I was looking at whether it would integrate with StreamYard, and there is a way to do it. So that's something I'm thinking about, because it is kind of nice to be able to kind of like write, on the flow, going with the flow of things and writing things out. Different programs do it better. I think I would say Zoom is probably probably a little better than than StreamYard.
I know some people, in regards to Zoom, use their iPads, and somehow they link it up when they're doing drawings and stuff. I'm trying to figure that out.
Zoom connects very nicely with the iPad
Yeah.
or your iPhone. It's very easy to share. You can't share to your iPad easily or maybe even at all from StreamYard, because StreamYard is more of it's a Chrome product, so it doesn't interface well with Mac the way that Zoom does. So
Yeah.
if you like Mac stuff, if you like your iPad and stuff like that, I would probably go with Zoom, because I think it's much more compatible.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Cool. Have any of you guys ever dealt in regards to using a teleprompter at all? Any of you guys have done that?
I've never used a teleprompter at all.
No.
I have not. There are programs. Are you talking about like within the computer screen or a true standalone thing?
Probably standalone, because, like I said, my wife's developing a bunch of modules, and I know she's got some scripts and things she wants to read, because it's just a lot there to memorize, and she's looking at some form of a teleprompter. Right?
So I know that people. I was involved in some StreamYard live sessions, and I think they were working on it. I don't know if they have it. That's the one thing about these programs; they're constantly like
Yeah.
beta testing new features. But like my system right here, so I'm on my laptop right now, and I actually have two extra monitors that I can use. So you can do it. You can probably, I'm sure you can have a digital teleprompter that's just on another screen.
Yeah.
But I believe StreamYard, I don't know about Zoom, but I believe StreamYard will allow you to upload a kind of an outline and kind of follow it. Or at least they were beta testing that. Some people, what they'll do is they'll use the banners to kind of create an outline for where they want to go. So you put up on screen. Let me see here if I can find a example.
I know I was using an app called Big View, BIGVU, and actually it wasn't bad. You can write your script on it, and you can actually set the pace of how fast you want it to move, the font size. I used it several times actually. It was pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. That I think that would make sense if you have kind of a a kind of an important script that you want to follow, and you want to make sure you hit the key points and not necessarily have it up like an outline like on
Yeah.
a Google thing. But like if you some people just need keywords or things that they can follow. So like you can just set it up like here, and these are just banners that I have, but sometimes they'll put this point, this point, and this point, and it just kind of keeps them moves, moves them
Wow.
through the
Yeah.
thing. You know, so some people will do that, put it up, and then use that as the kind of
Yeah.
reminder to move to cover all the points. I suppose you could theoretically leave, not even display them, but use you can see them as the host. You can see all the different things you have set up there. So depends how much you rely upon an outline. I'm more of a just give me general pointers and I just kind of free flow it. That's kind of
Yeah.
how I do it. If you're someone that really likes to have a well detailed kind of narrative, or even like you said, more of a teleprompter to follow, then
Yeah.
you'd probably want one of these add-on programs.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Sean, what do you got, buddy?
I mean, I use Zoom for most of my stuff, guys, for interviews and get it professionally wrapped. I'm looking at Loom for the actual building of my modules, because I know that I can share my screen and kind of walk through some things as far as the screen being accessible for people to see. And I've really got to start doing that really, really soon. I've been kind of procrastinating. Well, I guess I do procrastinate, Chris. So there you go. I've been procrastinating as far as getting the modules done. I went today to the bank, and there was some hiccups with their system, so I'm gonna have to go back on Friday. But I think me getting the money to actually build the funnel and start running paid traffic is going to force me to build the course and see if I can start getting some leads and get some people on the phone and see if I can get some sales. I think for me right now, the organic route is, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result is the absolute definition of insanity. And I think that's kind of where I'm at. Is like, I've done this 2 years consistently, and I've not seen any sort of result as far as getting clients or getting people on the phone or getting sales. So like something's not working, and either it's some messaging, I'm not clear on what I'm offering, or I'm just there's just so much saturation out there that I can't stand out. I'm not sure what the deal is.
When you make your modules or whatever, like where are people going to go through them? Is it going to be like Kajabi or do you have that figured out yet?
I mean, I look at the school, it's only $97 a month. Or also, Craig, I looked at just like, if I can put all those folders in a zip file, I can just send them a link and have them download the zip file. Like module 1 has 10 videos about microphones and all the setup and stuff, and I can just send them like a direct link to download like a zip file. To be the short answer until I get some other stuff built up, but that will be the easiest way, probably just to start initially, I think.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I'm glad you mentioned it. School seems pretty popular these days, eh?
Yeah, it's only $97 a month too, I think, which isn't a lot, but if you can afford that and put all your stuff on there, you have kind of a one-stop shop. Once again, it's kind of modeling what Sam's already done for all of us.
Yeah, I'm going to explore school for my wife for her course, so we'll see.
Yeah, I haven't. I'm on a couple of different, Sam's thing, and then I have another coaching thing I'm on, and I haven't really thought about putting my own stuff on there if I get to it. But I know that who's the big name that's over there? Who's the guy on all the
Mostly.
Yeah, the big muscular guy. Yeah.
Yeah. So one other I want to ask you guys: Sean? Have you ever sent out have you ever hosted like a webinar or something, and then had to send out like an invitation for Zoom? Have you ever had to do that?
No, I thought about that, Chris. I would suggest. I mean, you got about 100 people in your group now. Sam actually just recently asked me would I host a Ask Me Anything for every day of Saturday. So if I would have to think about that for me, for my audience and my Facebook group, I would just create the Zoom link. I would post something in there and say, I'm having to Ask Me Anything about mindset, like whatever your niche is and what you're talking about, and just put the Zoom link in the thread, and then whoever shows up, shows up.
Right.
I thought about doing that for myself. I just haven't yet, but I would think that just create a Zoom link for a meeting, the time, and just get on there and say, hey, I'm having a Ask Me Anything about the podcasting or whatever your niche is, Chris, whatever you want to talk about that's in your course. And just post it out there, and whoever shows up, and who knows, they could become a client because they're interested in all the free content that you're going to give them on that call.
So that's one thing I want to start doing is probably I'm going to target the next 2 to 3 weeks, just have put on a Zoom call, and like I said, like you say, just start posting it that, hey, whatever, 7:00 Friday night or whatever, Thursday night, and register for the link, and I'll be talking about mindset, whatever, right? So I got to start doing that too, actually. So
is it something that you want to be kind of interactive then, or is it just people?
No, it'll be more or less me talking about what I do and how it can help you and the benefits to you, your business, your life. We'll talk about goal setting, self-image, procrastination, the knowing, doing gap paradigms, where they're formed, how they're formed. So I want to go over, and what a lot of people do in our company or our group is they do 3 1-hour days, or 3 in a row, 1 hour. I was going to just start off with probably a 75 to 90-minute chat, but a lot of people recommended doing 3 days in a row, 1 hour each. He said it really keeps the people engaged, and if they show up for the third day, they're really interested. That's how you know. So I'm looking at a couple of options. Just really going over the 12 modules, basically summarizing them, exactly what we do, and hitting some of the finer points of mindset, business development, and personal development, and how it all can help you, right?
Are these webinars something that you kind of want to keep kind of exclusive to people within your
No.
group? So you kind of want as many people to have a chance to see it as possible. These are
Yeah,
not neutral
so
paid
I'm
people.
gonna, my program has a wide range, so I'm gonna obviously hit a lot of first responders for mindset, self-image, stuff like that. There's actually a large aspect of, and a lot of people use it for not only personal development but business development, growing their business. Because at the end of the day, growing your business is more mindset work than it is, advertising and all that. So they say the game has changed. It's 95% mindset, 5% strategy. And the reason most people aren't hitting their goals because they're not setting proper goals and they're afraid to go up what they after. And we know more today, more than ever, but people are doing less. And there's this gap called the knowing doing gap, and we talk about how to, how to close that gap so you're more productive. And why is the same guy in your company a 1% top producer when he's learning all the same information you are and you're not producing? And so we talk a lot about these gaps, and at the end of the day, it's just all about mindset. Really, it is. So the course has a lot of different roads. So yeah, I'm just going to hammer away at everybody. The odd time I'm going to focus on, let's say, maybe once a month I will hit first responders, talk about, self-image. I could spend an hour talking about self-image. I could spend an hour on, goal setting or whatever, right? So, but initially I'm just putting it out there just to get it out there. And I'm,
Are you going to record these then? Is that your plan to record?
yeah, no, absolutely. I won't tell people because I want a sense of urgency and people to show up, but I will after the fact say, hey, in case you missed the thing, here's the replay today. It'll be up for, 48 hours or for the week or whatever. So 100%.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm just piggybacking a lot of what a lot of the successful people in our company do. That's what I've been studying. I've been studying a lot of the successful people who are doing extremely well at this, getting 20, 30 clients a month. So I've really been digging deep into what they're doing. So
I think for that, probably Zoom probably is your best bet. Most people can use Zoom.
yeah,
Everyone's used Zoom. Most people can figure out StreamYard, but it doesn't, can be kind of a cumbersome thing for some people. Zoom
yeah,
is just well designed for that. And it has so many features they're building in, like, the AI summary, the transcript. There's even like interactive chat options available that I never really got into, but they've really added a lot of layers in there to make it kind of an organizational tool. So yeah, it sounds like Zoom is probably the way to go for
for
that.
that, for definitely for those, definitely. I might even give some Facebook Lives a try and see if anyone shows up. And the nice part about that, once you're done, it stays there, so people can actually watch it if they miss it. But I'm gonna try some Facebook Live, see if anybody shows up. What the heck, right? So, just back to your Zoom I love the AI generator, the where it gives you the summary and all that stuff. Oh man, it's awesome. It's unbelievable. It nails it.
Yeah, between the transcript and the AI summary and the audio only, if I wasn't doing a lot of live streaming, I would probably still be doing everything on Zoom.
Yeah.
That's probably the big reason why I've gone to StreamYard. But Zoom is very robust. StreamYard has it does it does make a transcript, which I think is just as good as Zoom. It doesn't do a summary, but I've kind of gotten around that. I think I was mentioning to you, Chris, this weekend is the Swell AI
Yeah.
product has been kind of a game changer. It sort of overlaps some of the stuff that Zoom already does, but it does some great things that StreamYard doesn't do, and it really sets you up for like the social media sharing and stuff like that. So I'm still getting used to that, but that seems like it could be a real game changer in terms of creating proposed titles, summaries, YouTube descriptions, LinkedIn type posts and stuff like that. So I'll report back more of that as I get get the handle of that a little more.
Yeah, I don't know.
Are you using that Swell AI instead of Opus now? Have you gravitated away from Opus? Does it kind of use the same features or no?
So Swell AI does some of the things that Opus does, but not as well. I'm still using Opus, but I might be phasing out, in part because I haven't been using the shorts as much. I've been doing other more like social media posts and things like that. So they're a little bit duplicative. I still like Opus for making clips and reels and posting it to TikTok and all that kind of stuff. But with Swell AI, it's a little more manual. Like you pick the clips that you want and it generates it, but it doesn't just spit out a bunch of clips for you, from what I can tell. So maybe that's coming.
Yeah, I'm still having issues with my Opus connecting to my Instagram account. I'm not really sure what's going on with that. I need to figure that out, dude, for sure. Because all my TikTok reels get pretty good traction, but I'm still missing Instagram, and I'm thinking about maybe creating an X account just for the sole purpose of just putting content on there as well.
You can, and that's gone much more towards video and stuff too. It's still not really a video platform, but it's got more video and stuff now, and you can live to Twitter. I guess I always call it Twitter, but you can live there and stuff. And so, yeah, I mean, a lot of it you're generating the content anyway, and so it's just a matter of populating the different social media channels, and certain ones work better than others. Twitter is a huge one for my main podcast. TikTok for the longest time didn't do anything. I stopped using it, and now suddenly everyone's over on TikTok, and so that one's kind of blown up. I don't know if it's seasonal or cyclical or whatever, but sometimes something works for a while on one platform, and then suddenly it doesn't, and you just have to be kind of just keep pushing buttons and try and make something happen.
Yeah. So, Sean, is it safe to say you're moving into the niche? You finally kind of maybe narrowed things down, and you're going to teach people how to podcast and make your message into millions. Is that kind of the?
I mean, Chris, I've looked at a lot of different things, and my story. I dealt with a lot of addiction in my life. I feel like I reach, my demographic is kind of anybody who's kind of been through something kind of major in their life, whether it's an addiction, a bankruptcy, a divorce, health scare, somebody has overcame something. And, that message that I have with me is, something I would like to think I could help other people share their message as well. I mean, because what I paid for, Chris, is that's what I've invested in. I paid and invested for podcasting and learn how to podcast and the mindset behind what it takes to be successful as a podcaster. So it's so different than going to school. I'm just transferring the knowledge that I've been given to other people to help them do the same thing. That makes the most sense logically. Could I help people set goals? Probably. Could I help them stay accountable? Yes. And specifically to podcasting or something else? It could be something else. But I can take the disciplines that I've learned through podcasting and maybe make those applicable to something else that they're struggling with. But once again, I have to have people to talk to figure out what they need help with, so I can help them along that continuum. If they want to launch a podcast, that's great. I want to make sure that's like my primary focus and get those modules built. That way, if that's what they want to do, here you go. Here's the course. You have an issue, you get stuck, hit me up. I'll get on a call. We'll figure it out. I'll get you sorted out. But they could need something else. They could just need mindset coaching. They just could need some discipline and some boundaries set up in their life so they can actually start moving toward their goal without distractions. But it's all, I can take the principles of podcasting and apply that to anything as far as somebody is trying to pursue a goal or a dream or a passion project. You can take the same principles, I think, and make them applicable to other things in people's lives.
Have you thought, not, I always feel like I'm giving you more ideas about how to do things, and I don't mean to do that. But
I love you too, Craig.
I've just wondered, have you considered in addition to, let's say, the podcasting thing, doing actual like coaching or masterminding with people that haven't overcome those things, but actually want help, want someone who's been through it that can help get them across the bridge. Because I sometimes wonder if those aren't the people that are going to be most influenced by your message, maybe more so than the people that want to do a podcast. Those aren't mutually exclusive, but I would, there's a lot of people that can teach podcasting, so to speak, and more of that is going to become available through technology. But teaching someone how to overcome addiction or save their marriage from whatever isn't. I don't think AI is going to help those people anytime soon, but real people could. Have you considered that is something that you might be able to do? Because that seems like a perfect fit for you, and something that people who are in that situation would be willing to do just about anything to get help with.
I haven't thought about that, Craig, and Ellen's mentioned that to me a couple of times. She's like, the stuff you've been through, like that's where you need to. That's where you're speaking. That's where all my scars come from. So if I'm speaking from the wound, not the scar, to the people that are still struggling with that. As far as helping them get through that, I don't know what necessarily that would even look like. Outside of having a mastermind and checking calls and holding them accountable to themselves. That's kind of more of it's kind of more like a sponsor and accountability partner for recovery programs. But as far as like a course or something like that for somebody that's struggling with that, there's.
And maybe it doesn't have to be a course. Maybe it is just you. Hey, I will get on Zoom once a week. I'll have a mastermind, and I will talk, and I'll say a lot of the same things over again, but I'll walk you through my journey, how I got from point A to point B, or wherever. That may be all you have to do. You may not need courses, and people may not need courses. They just want to be able to tune in and listen to you, just because I suspect you say the same, you kind of repeat the same story 10 times. Each time there's going to be another new nugget that kind of comes out that maybe wasn't there before. um, you might try that. There's not infrastructure in there other than just you saying this is the time of week I'm going to do it. And I don't know. I would be surprised if there wouldn't be people that would pay to be part of that. And maybe you've got different layers. Maybe some of it is a one-on-one if they want it, but you can have different levels. But I would think, if you had a weekly mastermind and you could get 100 people on it, you wouldn't have to charge much per person to make that pretty financially viable. And all you got to do is show up and talk. This is not something to think about.
$97 a month or something. Your message matters. Bring your message to a message that could be your podcast, and then $97 a month, like you said, you don't need a whole lot of people to make some money.
Yeah, that's a great idea, man. I'll think about that, dude. Once again, I got to figure out my new life and schedule right now with everything going on, and figure out when that day could be. I'm already, I've been going to Toastmasters for a while, and even now Mondays are tricky for me to get there, and it's just like all the things I know I need to be doing are getting kind of tossed to the wayside, which is really frustrating for me at the moment.
Well, You'll get there. I can't express enough. Again, don't try not to beat yourself. You're just in this little dip right now. You know what you got to do and how to do it. So you'll find your groove. I'm confident you will.
What else, guys?
Tech-wise, that's for me until I really start digging in deep. I think it's, from everything, all the information we're gathering, and Jeannie mentioned it, YouTube really seems to be the channel to make a massive impact. So myself and my wife are going to start I have a YouTube channel, but I'm going to tweak it a bit, revise it a bit. I'm going to get her going. Her and I are going to do a podcast together, actually, based on her Wounded Not Conquered course. I think that's going to be a huge hit. We talked about that. So I'm just looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to failing forward. Right?
I think YouTube is the best thing in the world. So
Yeah.
I strongly encourage people to
Yep.
get on YouTube and just start making content and sticking with it, because it is the hub. It is the hub of the video world, I think.
Yeah, and I do know a few people who are getting into some businesses, and I mentioned to them, I said, you guys got to start a YouTube channel, and I said, we got this group going here, so hopefully we can build what we're doing.
For sure. Sean, are you still regularly recording your podcast? How often are you doing it, and is it on Spotify?
I'm still at 5 episodes a week. My recording, as far as batches goes, has been kind of super sporadic. Typically I was doing like all my recordings on Monday, and then Friday I was uploading them for the following week. But now it's just kind of, I'm recording whenever I can, because I know that my Mondays and Fridays now have been kind of shot. So I'm having to record more frequently as opposed to just in batches, which I don't mind. My phone is chock full of notes from sermons and thoughts and conversations and stuff like that, so I can always pull it up, read over something, and then fire one off and just kind of build a bank. And then whenever I find time to edit it, which is typically at night, I can just kind of edit it and get them out, to make sure I'm still consistent at 5 a week, man. So that's my goal. Some days it kind of tails off to 4 a week, but for the most part, it's been 5 a week for the last 20 something months.
How do you find the editing process? Is it something that you're pretty fast at, or does it take a lot of time?
Well, no, I'm super fast because I'm using the same software that I use for music production, which is Ableton. So I know it like the back of my hand, and it takes me literally, I can upload an episode and export it within probably 30 seconds too. So it's really, it's super fast for me. I don't really have an issue with the editing part.
Okay. And is that where you add in like your intro and outro and stuff then?
Yeah, so I have a template. I have like a master template, and the intro and outro are just kind of stationary in there. And I just basically drag and drop my new episode in there and kind of move it to where it needs to be at, and then export it, and then save it as MP3. And then I'll just from there get into Blueberry and WordPress and all that stuff, and kind of do my show notes and all that stuff, and then publish it, schedule it out.
How do you come up with your show notes?
What I basically do, Apple will actually transcribe it for you after you're done. But what I basically do, I'll just actually listen to the episode, and I'll start typing some key points of the actual message, to kind of follow along with the actual episode. But then, Headliner also gives you like a pretty good transcript of export and all the things, as far as it gives you a blog post, a newsletter, show notes, hashtag stuff for socials. Headliner doesn't really, I don't think it benefits for YouTube as far as like the actual, the episode itself, but it does give you some pretty good resources as far as like AI transcripts and stuff to use for your socials.
That's Headliner?
Yeah, headliner.app.
I think I have the extension, but I don't think I ever paid for that or whatever, so it must not. Okay.
Yeah, I use the free one, dude. It's pretty powerful. You just basically drag and drop your you link it to your iTunes account. That way, when you upload an episode, it'll populate within their parameters. And then once you click on that episode, you have options to kind of make it look a certain way. And then it gives you options to download all the extra special, they call it the promo pack. And you just say yes, and then it'll email you the promo pack, and it itemizes like, it gives you like a blog post all the hashtags for the episode. I mean, it's pretty powerful. And then you'd have to go back and like copy and paste that stuff into your social media.
Okay.
Uh,
That sounds like Swell AI. Does it handle video too, or is it just audio?
I think it's just for audiograms. I don't think it does any
Okay.
video.
Okay. That would be the difference, I suppose. Swell AI, I think does both, but it does the video. So okay.
Craig, does Swell AI? I like what Sean said that it produces the hashtags and stuff like that. Does Swell AI do something similar?
It gives you keywords.
Keywords?
I don't know. I think you can set it up as a prompt that it'll give you proposed hashtags. I don't totally understand the difference between keywords and hashtags, to be honest with you, but it gives you a list of keywords that you include, which I typically don't do. I usually use the title, the description, and then the what do they call it? Time marks or time stamps, like the little chapter things.
Yep.
So that's usually what I use. I'll take those three things, throw it in. Because I have TubeBuddy on a couple of my YouTube channels, I'll put that in there and I'll run it through TubeBuddy for the proposed um, title generator. Sometimes it gets better. A lot of times I just leave it, but I probably would not do TubeBuddy over again if I knew about Swell AI, because Swell AI kind of does the stuff that TubeBuddy does. Um, TubeBuddy, I think, is really designed when you really are going to kind of pour yourself into YouTube and focus on building the channel more so than using it as a tool to sell courses or whatever. That's kind of my impression. I'm not trying to build an audience for the sake of building an audience. I'm building an audience to spread the message. And so I think TubeBuddy is better suited for people whose goal is to create a large YouTube audience and then monetize it accordingly. Monetize it the various ways you can monetize it.
Is there a cost to TubeBuddy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have TubeBuddy, don't you, Sean, or you were going to?
I looked into it, dude, but I didn't really mess with it, man. Like, I really honestly think that, I mean, I haven't give YouTube any focused time, energy at all. I mean, I really know that I need to get on there and create videos daily. I need to have the same mindset with YouTube that I have with the podcast. It's just, I haven't done it, dude. I know what I need to do. Once again, it's been a time struggle for me to figure out those pockets where I can record. And I think the smarter thing probably would be to do is every time I record a podcast episode, whatever that episode is about, just fire up YouTube and make a short based upon whatever I just talked about. That way it's done, it's out there, and I can move on to the next.
How are you recording your podcast? Are you on your computer or phone?
I do it on my phone in the car, and then I email it to myself, and then download it to my desktop.
Mm-hmm.
Space between studio. You're sitting in it, boys.
I kind of wondered. I know that was Sam's model. I do record some stuff in the car, but not a lot.
I mean, I do record. I have recorded some episodes in my studio at the house to kind of see how the sound was and what different it was, and that way I had some sort of video I can make shorts out of it. But once again, it's been kind of sporadic, not really nothing set in stone as far as being consistent with that. Consistently for me is been in the car. That's been my go-to as far as get my episodes recorded. I've tried a couple of other mediums that just haven't panned out for me just yet.
Well, it is nice. It's accessible because we always have time in our car and your phone's with you, so it removes a lot of the common barriers to getting stuff done if you can do it in your car, for sure.
Right. Well, guys, I got to run and get my daughter, guys. Thank you so much for the call today, Craig, Chris. I love you guys so much, and we'll be in touch.
Good talking to you, Sean.
All right.
Yeah, reach out if you need anything. You'll get there. Don't worry. This is just a little blip in the radar.
No worries, fellas. I love y'all. We'll see you soon. All right.
Hey, buddy. Yep. Craig, does Swell AI create shorts for you?
Yes, it can. I haven't used it for that purpose because I have Opus already. But when my Opus credits expire, it's possible I'll go to
Okay.
using that. I think Opus does, from what I can see, Opus does a better job
Okay.
of generating shorts, video shorts, if that's kind of primarily your gig,
Yeah.
that you can use for TikTok and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm still a big fan of Opus. It does that part of it really good, but it doesn't do much from what I can see in terms of like the social media, the Twitter descriptions and stuff like that. It doesn't really do that. What Swell AI will do that, it will allow you to go, if you want to go through the transcript and highlight a certain section, it'll generate that clip for you. So it's just more of a manual process, more strategic, and in some ways probably a better way to create shorts, because you are now going through and picking the spots that you want to make a short.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't have the time. That's one of the reasons I went to Swell AI, is I don't want to go back through
Yeah.
and read and listen to all my content again. This is my way of bypassing that. So I think if someone was willing to spend the time with Swell AI and pick out their clips, I think it could be very effective. And I think there is an auto generate feature. I haven't played with enough to see how good it is. I just know Opus is great. Like it does a really good job of, and with Opus, you can do it on a month to month thing. I think when I did it last time, I bought it like a year's worth of credits. So I'm kind of going to have it for a while. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm just using the free version right now, but the couple of shorts that Opus did for me that I posted on TikTok were my best viewed TikTok. So
It's a, I've kind of fallen off doing the shorts, in part because I haven't needed them. My one podcast is growing so much and getting so much engagement organically on YouTube and the long form, that I haven't needed the shorts as much. But it was essential to how I grew the channel to start with, and so Opus is great for that, and it literally will schedule to YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. So, yeah, I mean, I think the paid version of Opus is worth it.
Right.
And I have it set up so that a team, so my virtual assistant from the Philippines, she can log right in from her side and work on the videos and stuff on her side too. So it's a pretty cool product in terms of making shorts and reels. Otherwise, doing it yourself manually is just impossible. I mean, it just takes forever.
Perfect. All right, man. Good stuff.
I'd be curious to hear how your module making process goes, especially like you said on the teleprompter or whatever.
Yeah.
Let me know what you come up with there. But StreamYard is nice. I think StreamYard gives you more options if you want to incorporate in like a slideshow or something like that.
Right.
I think Zoom is maybe a little better if you want to do more like kind of on the fly writing and stuff, like the whiteboard and stuff like that. That's probably how I would distinguish the two of them. But you'll have to let me know how that goes, because I might be doing some of my own courses as well, and so I'd be curious to see what you've found works and doesn't work in that respect.
Hopefully in the next week or two, you can start recording some stuff. So we'll see how it
Awesome.
goes. Yep.
Great,
buddy. Thanks.
Talk to you later, bud.
Thank you.
Yep. Bye.